What's up, everybody? Please like and subscribe, comment, and share on our videos. Grasshopper and the Bear. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Pleasure to have you today, Coach One Kick Nick. How you doing?
Good.
I'm Javier, the host of the Grasshopper and the Bear podcast. This is my co-host, Kendrick the Brute McClin. How you doing?
Pretty good.
How are you, sir? Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Yeah, just hanging in there on this Sunday, you know.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
We know you're a busy guy, so we appreciate you coming down today. First of all, I want to ask, how do you know our mutual friend JP? How long have you guys known each other? He's the one that hooked us up for this.
You don't want to know.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. You guys known each other for a minute, though, obviously.
Right, into his prior years of not being such a good boy.
Right. Exactly. Yes, he was a bad boy for a while.
Yeah, he wasn't a good boy.
Yeah. He's being a good boy now, though. You should see him. He's doing a great job mentoring these youth, his youth boxing team, and it's amazing to see, man. I love it.
Do that since he got off vacation.
That's right. Coach, I've been to your gym before. I met you briefly, like about 3 or 4 years ago. I was visiting Vegas with my family for vacation. I took a couple of privates, my son and I, with the crew that was there from Thailand, teaching the classes at the time.
Yeah, Luke Chang.
Yeah, he was great. And I met you briefly. How long has your gym been there? How long have you had the gym? And how did you get into martial arts, One Kick? How did you get started?
Well, I've been I've owned my gym, on different locations, of course, for 30 years. You know? And I got into martial arts when I was young, like looking for a little bit of direction. So at the Boys and Girls Club where I lived at, they offered martial arts. My mom thought I was going to football practice, but I was going to martial art practice.
Nice. What art did you start with, and what led you eventually to Muay Thai and full contact? And who was your first and who were your coaches then?
My first coach was Eddie Lane, and it was Kung Fu, Hungar and Chole foot. So I was started off with that, and I thought like that was the greatest thing ever. And then of course it didn't work in a street fight, so then I got a little disappointed that none of my stuff worked as far as that. So then I got into boxing. I think I was around 12 years old then. And then I got into boxing, and then I started getting pretty good at boxing. And then I started I met a Korean guy from Korea, just got here, his son at school. It was a guy named Jason Han. And then started training with Jason Han in Taekwondo. So I was just jumping back and forth between boxing and Taekwondo for quite a few years. And then one of my boxing coaches was a Kung Fu practitioner as well. And then I started doing some of his Kung Fu techniques while we were doing boxing, and it worked real well. So his name was Joe Salamone. And his master was Arthur Sykes. So they took a big interest in me as far as the boxing and Kung Fu was concerned. And then I always kept with the Taekwondo for many years. And then somehow I got into kickboxing, and then I was pretty good at it. And then I was like 6-0 or something, and I was cocky. Ran into a Thai boxer, and then of course that didn't go well. So that's how I got involved in. I met Rob Kamen, and he was explaining, he was there after my fight, and he was like, "Man, you're a tough guy, but you don't know Thai boxing." He goes, "Learn to mix it all in." And then so after, we're still good friends to this day, Rob and I. And then so now I would think I was 28 then, and then I changed my style over to a Thai base, and then just kind of did started doing sort of like a Holland style, but more of my own style. So it worked out. We're still here.
Did you with the Thai boxing, with the Muay Thai, did you spend any time at Mike's gym or in Amsterdam at all, or the Netherlands with your training?
Spent some time at Mijiro gym, and then I jumped around a little bit. I went to Chet Rookie gym for a little bit. I just kind of experimented, but Andrew Maynard, he was there. Now he owns the gym. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting time. And then they were telling me about a gym in Thailand. And then so I decided to go check that out. I wound up staying there for about a year.
Wow.
Living in just training Thai boxing, and that was under Takung Pong Supa, under Sachi Prapad gym.
Okay.
And then back every year. I'd stay for a couple months and then come back. So that was my home base from then on out, And that was about 90. That was about 1989, 1990 time.
You caught on to the Muay Thai kind of bug, Thai boxing bug early on. You're one of the first.
Yeah, I really started putting the system together at my gym around 93. I was still teaching Taekwondo at that time. And then I would do a kickboxing class just to see how it would turn out, because in that time we didn't know if it would work or not, because people were so into Taekwondo, and the families, and my Taekwondo classes were pretty big. And then there was no jiu-jitsu at that time either. So I was just doing kids Taekwondo classes, adult class, and then I would do kickboxing at 7 at night after all the classes were done. And that class was busier than all my classes.
Oh, damn.
And then I slowly changed out of the Taekwondo and never taught it again,
Yeah, that's kind of, what's your opinion on, are traditional martial arts kind of dead now? I still love traditional martial arts. They're beautiful. They inspired me when I was young, but what do you think about traditional martial arts these days? I don't see them too much.
They used to be huge because of the testing, and, they had all the, even us, we did a lot of testing. So it was a lot of BS, like too much testing, too much, I still have a ranking system in my Thai boxing system, but I hardly ever use it,
It's kind of there, kind of not.
2 times, maybe 3 times a year. Even though they asked for more of it, I mean, I put it together as not more as a level system than anything else, but they still like it. And, there's never been I actually, the Thais have asked me how to get a ranking system together. And of course, some of them have done it already. The USMTA backed what we were doing with Ken Heilinger. And then I was telling him about the levels that I do. And then he put a system together. So it turned out. So I put it, you got to kind of have a little bit of a system, something to give people accolades that aren't going to fight,
Yes, that's important.
I put a pretty good little system together. Hey, Nick, go check that car.
How often at this point do you still train in terms of your martial arts?
I train all the time with my pros.
Nice.
I still spar with them. I still move around with them. I do a lot of clinching with them, because all my guys are big. Most of my guys are big.
What advice would you give someone, because you've been in the game a long time, and ultimately in anything, we want to go as long as possible. So what advice or encouragement would you give for Javier as a martial artist, or myself as a martial artist, to be able to train as long as possible and remain strong in it as long as possible?
Well, I think the main thing is if you train at a level where you enjoy it,
Okay.
I still have people train with me that are in their 40s, 50s. I have a few private lessons I give guys that are, you know, one of my oldest client was 74 at one point.
Okay.
Nice.
You know? And so he would just pay for privates and just do private lessons, and, you know, go at his own, so he could go at his own pace, you know, take a break, he'd take a break. But you know, like I said, I have guys are up in their 45, almost 50. I have a few guys that are like 53 and go at their own pace, and they have fun doing it. They don't try to go too hard. And then of course I always control the technical sparring. You know, the guys that are better have to know they have to protect the up and comers, you know.
Okay.
Or the elders, you know, they got to protect them. They can't just blast them.
Sure.
They all see me still having fun, so that makes them know that it's okay.
Yeah, and your flexibility is crazy still, Coach. I see you throw that high kick when you're demonstrating your class like it's nothing. Will that flexibility come from your Taekwondo training? Because you have your high kick is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't stretch out like I used to. I guess it's just muscle memory.
That's true. That's true.
Else, I don't really get a chance to stretch myself out too much, but it's always there if I need it.
That's true. Okay. That's true. Yeah. Have you seen his high kick, Kendrick?
I have not.
Oh man, Coach, how did you get the name One Kick, Nick? I assume it's because you knocked out people with one kick, but tell us that story, how that nickname came.
There's a guy here. When I used to bounce in clubs years ago and visit clubs, I get in a little thing here and there, but there was a guy named EJ and a guy named Jack Croft. They were managers of this club I used to go called Shark Clubs. So I would go there, and they were having a problem out in front of the club one time. And my Jack was dealing with the guy, and it was a gangster, like, dude looked like he just got out of prison, a Mexican guy. Okay. And he had the tats and everything, and everybody was kind of like not too sure about him. And then so I was coming up, he said something to me, but I just ignored him. But then my friend EJ, big Samoan guy, and he said to me, "Hey, that back then they used to call me Flash at the club because I was so fast." Oh, and then so EJ called me over and said, "Hey, Flash, go flash." He said, well, "Go over and flash him." I said, "You want me to flash him?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "All right, I'll go." So I walked up, the guy said something, so I kicked him in the head before he knew it.
Oh, snap.
And he went down, he was down, and I slapped him 3 times when he was on the ground. And then over and said, "We'll get him out of here, we'll get him out of here." So of course I never around the scene of anything that I did. So I just left. And I disappeared, and I stayed away for 3 weeks just to make sure that everything was cool, you know?
Sure.
Well, I didn't hear nothing, so I'll just go back to the club. And then when I came back to the club, one of the door guys radioed inside and said, "Hey, One Kick's here." I'm looking around to see who One Kick was, you know, and I was the only one standing there.
Oh, and then the legend began right from there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So when I came,
that's a wow. That what a.
So EJ comes out and says, "Hey, One Kick, what's up?" I was like, "Oh," and at first I didn't like it because I thought it made it sound like I only knew one kick. So then every time I came to the club, they called me One Kick, and then so everybody around town started calling me One Kick. And you know, back then the rumors spread through the cab drivers, because they didn't have social media. This is like in 88, you know, right. Like 87 or 88. And so the cab drivers were the mouths, you know. So by the time I went to every other club, every time I went there, they would call me One Kick. So that's when it stuck. It didn't come from inside the ring. It just came from outside in the street, you know.
Yeah. Wow. I remember, Kendrick, I remember like in 2007, 2008, I was training with my boy, JP. He was telling me, he's like, "You got to go see," because I was doing MMA, and he said, "You got to go see my boy One Kick in Vegas. You got to go see my boy One Kick." I never heard of you yet, Coach. And I was like, "Who is he?" He's like, "No, he's the best. He's sick. Just go see him. Go see him. He's going to help you." And I was like, okay. But I never made it out. But yeah, man, that's a hell of a story. Damn.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Would Coach, would you say that that's your most memorable, and this, I mean, it may sound goofy, but would you say that's your most memorable thing in terms of martial arts, or would it be victories in the ring, or a particular victory in the ring? Because that story, that's an awesome story.
Well,
You know.
yeah. The reality of my fight career was I had 54 boxing, amateur boxing matches, and I only had 12 pro kickboxing fights. And that was like mixing it up with above the waist, below the waist, you know, the baki
AKA stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because kickboxing wasn't that popular at the time. And it was popular back east, and I didn't have, a lot of times I didn't have the money to go back east. But I made it. I made a decent name. But you know, street fights, those are always memorable.
Yeah.
I guess my most memorable street fight was, you ever heard of Rico Suave?
Yep.
Gerardo?
Yeah, you were his bodyguard, right, Coach?
Yeah, I was his bodyguard.
Yeah, Gerardo.
How I met him was with another star named Dino. He had Summer Girls at the time. He was a DJ here in Vegas, and then he made it big with some one-hit wonder type song. Anyway, he was with Gerardo at a club called Celebrations. DJ Frankie was the DJ, and they were doing a big party there. So I was the bouncer. And so during the course of the night, I got into there was a big football player that was at UNLV at the time, and he was causing trouble with everybody, and he was headbutting a few people. And then so I confronted him, and then told him he had to leave. And then him and I got into it, and he was strong. He grabbed a hold of me in a bear hug. He was trying to headbutt me. And then I kept moving my head. I'd move my head, he would miss. And then we went up against the wall, and then he tried to headbutt me again, but his eyebrow landed in my mouth. And so I bit it off. And then he let go. So then I beat him up and drug him out of the club and threw him out. Well, Gerardo thought I bit his nose off because of all the blood and stuff, you know. So he tells a story like I bit the dude's nose off, but I didn't bite the dude's nose. I bit his eyebrow.
Let's just say you bit his nose off. Let's just leave it at that. Almost the same thing. Almost eyebrow, nose. Same area.
MTV, How'd You Meet Your Bodyguard? And he would tell the story, but I would always tell him, "You got the story wrong, man. I didn't bite his nose. I bit his eyebrow." I said, "The only reason I bit him is because he had me so good that was the only defense I had, because he was so strong. He had my arms. You know, I couldn't get away from the guy. And then when I bit him, he let go, and then I let him have it, you know." But that's the most memorable one, because Gerardo keeps telling it wrong, and I have to tell it right, you know. So, but it was the craziest, like 30 seconds, you know, 45. It was only seconds fast, you know.
And Gerardo's this, for anyone who's listening doesn't know, Gerardo had that big, huge hit back then where it was called Rico Suave. You go Rico Suave. That was the hit back then. That was the biggest song.
Artist signed with Interscope Records.
Right. Wow. He was big time back then. Yeah, I remember that. Damn.
After all cleared up and everybody back to, you know, doing their thing, he asked Dino to introduce him to me. That's how we met.
Oh, okay.
And I never seen anything like that before. I thought that big guy was going to kill you. Me too.
No, Kendrick, if we're ever in that situation, the bear hug, the big ass football dude trying to squeeze the life out of us, hey, go for the eyebrow.
Eyebrow. Yep, go for the eyebrow. That's it. That's it.
Hell yeah.
One kick, who would you say are the top 3 most influential people in your career and your life as a martial artist? And then who would you say are the 3 most influential people just in your life as a whole, period?
As far as martial arts, Joe Salamone, Jason Hahn, another guy, Takun Pongsupa, he was important to me. And then there's probably one more that was like real. A guy named JC, he was pretty influential influential as far as my getting me involved in martial arts, but then later found out that, man, I didn't like hanging around him too much while he was in the street. So, so he was so influential. He was one of those dudes that got me like motivated to be in the ring and fight, and then he was also one of those dudes that try to motivate bad things, you know, like tell me to do the wrong things, you know, like when we're like outside of the gym, you know. He was one of those guys. But and then the other three, you said just in life. You know, like Rob Kamen is one of the guys that I really like listening to. You know, I don't do what he does, but I listen to him a lot. You know, Sergio Pena, he's one of my good mentors, you know. He's what?
Sir, who's Sergio Pena? Is I haven't heard.
Sergio Pena was
Jiu-jitsu coach?
Jiu-jitsu coach, yeah.
A familiar name. Yeah.
Yeah, he grappled with one of the Gracies for over an hour or something, then the lights went out, and somehow the lights went out.
Okay.
I saw a match or whatever, but yeah, Sergio, he was one of my all-time mentors, you know. And then Arthur Sykes, my instructor, he was very influential to me, you know.
Coach, I've been lucky enough to meet Rob and train with him privately and in seminars. He's wild, man. He's awesome.
But don't go out with him; you'll be disappointed.
I've heard more than once. Cool though, no, he's cool. He was I remember he was training one time he was running our practices when I was training at El Nino fight team in San Francisco, and he was a room full of MMA fighters. He's running practice stand up, and every time he kicked, you know, his technique's so good, especially with the low kick. Every time he'd ask, "Hey, can I borrow someone to demonstrate this real quick?" And everyone would be like, "Oh, no." Everyone would like move to the back. All these badass MMA dudes would all move back. Like, no, not me. Because he thinks he's hitting you light, but it's just his low kick's just so hard. Anyways, he's off the chain.
He's been popping to Vegas for years. You know, he's been hanging out with me since I opened my gym, you know. So he popped. I'm just, you know, training, and when he comes to Vegas, he only comes to my gym, you know. So yeah, feel good, you know.
Coach, what was it about the Thai trainer? I think you mentioned Pung. What was his name? Pung. How do you pronounce it?
Are you talking which one? The one him or the one?
I think his name was Pung Pungman. You mentioned him just a second ago. Maybe one of your most influential.
Takung Pong Supa in Thailand.
Yeah. What was it about him?
You know, him and I just we had a lot of things happen when I was living in Thailand with him, you know, and you know, we just became very good friends, you know. And his dad was always cool to me, you know, and they always let me train no matter what, even when they weren't open to foreigners. Oh wow!
Oh yeah, because back then it wasn't as friendly to foreigners. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
The Thai camps. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Kendrick's having a little difficulty. He'll be back soon, I'm sure. Can you talk about how Chidi, Nico Ajani, one of your fighters, set up that knockout 2 weeks ago in the UFC? He knocked out how did he set that up? And then what's the secret to being a corner man and a fight coach for so long, like being in there with them, you know, making the walk and being in the corner?
You find you know, fighters that you click with, you know, and then it just motivates you to be in their corner, you know. I don't go with a lot of people as much anymore. I let my other coaches go. Like Dewey Cooper was one of my students since he was 18 or 18 years old.
Yeah.
And now coach fighters, and he's taking guys. So a lot of times if I can't go or I don't want to go, I call Dewey up, "Hey, go work this guy's corner for me." So he'll go work the guy's corner for me. And then sometimes he's trains a few, like I think maybe we're the only two coaches that you know, student coach that actually has guys in the UFC still. I don't know if any other coach, student coach have anybody in the UFC, but I think we do. I'm not sure. But anyway, he's bringing up a whole batch of new fighters, and I have a bunch of new, I still have some new fighters, and I'm very picky who I don't take as many guys as I used to take. I don't care about I don't care about having 20 guys on the floor, because then you just become like, you're not training guys anymore. You're just kind of running them through a practice, So I still like my one-on-one coaching. And then when I look at their fighters that they're fighting and I see little mistakes, like with this guy that Chidi just fought, I noticed that every time he's in the clinch, he pulls back with his chin up, So I told Chidi, I don't know if you watched the pad workout session before he went out.
No, I see.
We were working that same elbow, the guy likes to pull out of the clinch with his head up, So we knew either a hook or an elbow would be there, once we got into some clenches, And then so it did work out perfect. But if you look at the pad work before he went out, it was the same move that hit him,
Those are most important parts of being a good corner man, or a good, not even corner man, just a coach, like a real coach, is seeing those things and then telling your fighter and working on them.
Every guy is tough out there, and they could cause you a problem, but you just got to pick out their one flaw that they do that fits your arsenal, And so usually we pick out those few little things that they do wrong that we can catch them on, and we just drill it and work it, And as a matter of fact, for the last 3 fights, most of the stuff that we worked on became reality in the show, like almost like it was planned to happen that way, Like from the first UFC fight when he had a guy against the cage with the elbows, and then we drilled that kind of stuff. And then the last one where we went over the top, I mean, we drilled that, because any guy that holds their chin up high is gonna, against a guy like Chidi, is gonna pay the price for keeping their chin up, And then the last two guys that he fought, they like to keep their chin high. So it was almost like training for the same guy, except for this guy made a mistake of the clinch. We knew he was going to clinch us. We knew he was going to try to take us to the ground and keep us there. We already knew that, and we're prepared for the scramble, and we knew we'd have a little bit of difficulty. But once we got back to our feet and broke his spirit from trying to keep us down, we just knew those things were going to be there for him,
And Chidi has to be the one to implement them too. I mean, that's another important part, right?
His brother was the same way, his brother was the same way. We did things the same way, but Chidi's a little better on the ground than his brother.
Yeah, his ground skills look legit. I knew Chidi was going to win that fight, because even though the wrestler was trying to dominate the wrestling positions, I know I've been watching Chidi for a bit, and I know he's got a great ground game. So I just knew he would survive that part. And then I didn't know he was going to knock him out like that, though. I was like, damn. But so congratulations to you and your team, to Chidi on that win just 2 weeks ago in the UFC. That was badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. It always helps when it's badass. Up and coming guys that are, looking good. They're new. They're not tall, but a lot of tall guys are starting to call me now. So, and I'm just like, well, most of you guys don't want to pay anyway. So,
yeah, that's true.
There's like a guy that owns a gym that just opened up a gym. And then he's got a bunch of pros training in there. And I was like, yeah, your gym looks great. You got all those pros. You must be doing good. And he's like, if I could get in gym.
Yeah, man. The pros, they pay the bills usually.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have an advanced class where I run the pros and the high-level amateurs together. But it's a short group, it's like there's only like maybe tops 10 of them, I don't want any more than 10, but with 10, that means there's only like 6, 7 at a time showing up,
Coach, what kind of a motorcycle do you ride these days? And how long have you been riding as a whole?
I've been pretty much riding my whole life. I used to have Shovelhead when I was younger.
Okay.
And then my first wife. And then I bought I traded that because that one broke down all the time. So I traded it in for this 94 Fat Boy, and I did a bunch of work to it. And I've bike ever since 94.
Okay. What are you riding currently?
Same bike.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's the same. I've had it since 94. Wow.
Okay. So now riding as long as you have, I know a lot of guys that ride can do at least at a very minimum, they can do like the light mechanical work. For you to have been riding as long as you've been riding, are you pretty well versed in terms of working on your own bike?
I could do the basic stuff, but if it's anything major, I take it to my buddy who owns Boulder Choppers.
Okay.
Kenny Fight.
Sure.
He takes care of all my major stuff, but I do all the other stuff to it.
You got all the bad boy characteristics, Coach. You one kick for a nickname. You have bitten off eyebrows, whooped cats in the ring, and you ride a motorcycle. You got tattoos too?
Yeah, just a few.
100%, man.
Wow. I was watching the Adam Hunter podcast the other day, Coach, MMA Roasted, and he brought you up, and he said you're the last living outlaw, or Chuck Norris. You're the last living outlaw. That's what he called you on the podcast.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't know. Adam Hunter on MMA Roasted podcast the other day, his newest episode, he was talking about you and Chidi's win, and he started telling Don Fry and his other buddy about you if they knew who you were, and he was describing you, and he's saying you're the last living outlaw. Period.
I gotta go at this podcast now.
Yeah.
Adam Hunter's podcast?
Adam Hunter. Yeah, he's a comedian. Yeah, he's got a podcast, MMA Roasted. I'll forward you the clip. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. We betting podcast. And me and Stephan Bonner started it, but then, he started getting too crazy. So I just kind of lost interest in it.
Right.
The final round.
Round. Yeah, Adam Hunter also said that at one time, I think he said it was one of your strip clubs you own, or where you were working as a bouncer, maybe. He said that Stephan Bonner and Phil Baroni, well, I met Phil Baroni before. He said they were both working for you. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, snap.
Coach, of all you've lived a very interesting life, and you've done a lot of interesting and amazing things. Do you have any other aspirations that you like to accomplish, be it within the realm of martial arts or personal aspirations that you have?
I don't know. I just wake up every day and see what's going on that day.
Okay.
I have big things going on in crypto right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I have a deal over at Resorts World that I'm working on. Well, it's already in progress right now. I just did a big NFT, Farahh Fawcett NFT over at Resorts World. And now I'm working on doing a lounge over there. So that's my next biggest venture right now is making this project work. I already own a strip club with cryptocurrency. I made some big money in Bitcoin. Then me and my partner started our own Bitcoin called MAURICE. And then we had the first Bitcoin strip club, which we were ahead of our time. The world wasn't ready for it yet.
Yeah, I heard that on the podcast too. Adam Hunter brought that up too. You had everyone, you started a business, and like, I don't know how many years ago, but it was before crypto, and you were only accepting cryptocurrency, I think, at the business.
Yeah. So I remember members only strip club. And I would put QR codes on the girls, like temporary tattoos. And
wow.
By swiping your phone across their wherever they would put it, they would scan the QR code, and then it would make it rain in crypto.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So you're ahead of your time. You're ahead of your time.
Yeah. I'm really ready for it. Like big major clubs now, crypto now, but they didn't do it like I did it. But They haven't figured that part out yet, but they're doing a lot of Bitcoin and different coins. They just haven't figured out how I did it, which I'm not going to tell. But you had to do it a certain way,
Sure.
So then I sold the strip club. Me and my partner, we sold the strip club and bought a restaurant. We had a restaurant called the Blind Pig in Vegas at the Pan Towers, and it was killing it. We were killing it. We were doing about $230,000 a month revenue, and then getting like a 10%, 15% profit, and then COVID, and then killed us. So
COVID kills you guys. Damn.
Yeah, COVID killed the restaurant, and then of course the landlord wouldn't work with us either. So, but I spent a lot of my crypto money I made off of crypto trying to keep that place open. And then we just didn't see no end in sight at the time. So we were just like, all right, this is the never ending battle. We don't know what's going to happen. There was before they were even showing any signs of letting up, after 9 months.
Sure.
So we lost, between my partner and I, we probably lost 300,000 just trying to keep it open.
Oh man.
And then so we decided to close. So just everything happened at once,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we were like, we got a little bit of that PPP money too, but that couldn't hold. Where we were at, our rent was so high, and our landlord was so wanting his money. He didn't care about the pandemic. He wanted his money. So I guess
with that guy.
building, I guess he wanted your money,
Yeah.
But so we just thought we would lose even more money if we stayed open, so we just closed. And then I went through a major divorce, so I dealt with that.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But now that's almost over. Now I'm just making this big comeback,
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I never gave up. I still always worked on the next deal. It's always the next deal. So martial arts and that attitude, I guess, I just keep pushing forward, but this next one should be a good one,
Okay.
Sure. Never surrender. Absolutely. That's good.
I got a few good years left in it.
Definitely. Absolutely. Of course. Coach, I'll be in Vegas for sure in October, and I'll definitely send you a DM and try to reserve some spots with you, Coach, so I get some work.
Yeah, come on in.
I can't wait. I'll make sure I'm in shape too. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Sure. Coach, I was going to say, well, I had a question. My question is, do you think as things begin to get better in regards to the COVID, that you and your partner may try your hand at the restaurant again? Is question one.
Restaurant in the ass. We did good because of the concept and the location, but
sure,
try and duplicate that. Like the people that got it after us, they're begging for me to come and help. And I was like, no, I'm good. The restaurant business was cool when I was like immersed in it, like I was when I was in it, but it takes too much time of my day and then just too many problems, But I made it work at the time because we were already in motion. But to start up again, I mean, there was someone out there, I don't know. That just took a lot of time.
Okay, for sure.
I put together some cool stuff and I did some cool parties, but it was a lot of work, more work than I really wanted to do. I'd rather just be like I am now with the concierge coin that I got. When people come to town, I hook them up, and if they own Bitcoin, if they own my coin, then I take care of them when they come to town. I get them hooked up to wherever they want to go. And now I have a lounge getting ready to open up over at Resorts World, but I'm not serving any food, just alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, food's the killer. I mean, food costs to do what we did and as much food as we served with very little profit on top of the food,
Yeah, I always heard you lose money on the food, especially like in sports bars and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I was getting killed. I mean, I never got killed, but when the pandemic hit, then I got killed.
Okay.
And they didn't let you serve alcohol.
Hmm.
So they had your bar closed down. Remember, they didn't let you open the bar.
Yeah.
Being
yeah.
closed, you lost all those customers. You lost all that momentum you built up. Because I was open for 3 years. But now I have no interest in a bar. Not type of bar, but the type of bar I'm doing now, I have interest in. Because then you're not there all day long.
Right.
So with this crypto lounge that I'm gonna do, it's for crypto members, and NFT people that buy NFTs, they'll come there. It's more like an NFT lounge, so we own a bunch of NFTs, so we'll display them. I have the first Mike Tyson Bitcoin machine.
Oh, wow.
You used to be able to buy Bitcoin at my gym.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah, that was good. But then, back in 2014, people that were buying Bitcoin probably weren't the most law-abiding citizens,
Can imagine.
So kids class, and some girl that needs to put her ad up on blacklist comes in to buy Bitcoin. You're kind of looking over, going, "Oh, maybe I should lock the door."
A lot broader range now of people who are.
Buys Bitcoin. It's no big deal, but you don't need a Bitcoin machine anymore. Everybody does it on their phone now. But back then, you did it on a Bitcoin machine. My partner and I had like 3 machines around town. We had one at the off the strip. We had one in my gym. We had another one at an antique store, and they were always busy. They were bringing in money all the time.
Damn.
But now everybody can buy it off the internet. They don't need Bitcoin machines anymore, because Bitcoin machines now are like 20%, 10% to buy Bitcoin, 10% to cash it in. So you're losing 20%, 30% right off the top.
That's obsolete now, those machines, right?
You remember back in the day, I don't know if they do it anymore, but when I used to run the strip clubs, you buy dance dollars. So the customer would lose 10% on the dance dollar, and the girl would give you 10% or 15% on the dance dollar. So you made 25% on the dance dollars,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept,
Okay. You seem to have a love for entrepreneurship. Where did you develop? How did you develop that? Who was influential in terms of you having that hunger and the drive that you still have?
Just being broke.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, I never took no business courses, college. I mean, I barely made it through high school, but so just hustling and trying to figure out how to make money. I mean, I was like, let me jump into this. This might be interesting. And then when I started buying Bitcoin, it was like $75 a Bitcoin.
Wow.
And then memberships for Bitcoin as well. So buy a membership in my gym for crypto. And that was a big risk on my side too, because crypto could go up or crypto could go down, so you might lose, like a gamble,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Took a chance and won though, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I used to run strip clubs for 20 years. That's what I did to help, make my, start my gym up. I was working strip clubs, so I made a lot of money working strip clubs. And then, so that kind of what got me going. And then I figured, I had this idea of a Bitcoin strip club when I started making money in Bitcoin. Hey, wouldn't it be great? So my partner was like, "That's genius. Let's do it." So my partner, like me, he used to run hedge funds and stuff like that. He's a business guy. So with my crazy attitude, and him and I together, we don't match as far as when you see us out or you meet us. You would never think that him and I were business partners. And but when we put something together, it always works. Like I'll come up with a crazy idea, and he'll be like, "That's genius. Let's do it."
Sounds like a good match.
Absolutely.
That's why I did that when I opened up that's why I put Phil Baroni and Stephen Bonner to work, because I called it the Legends Room. I told we could put, what if we could put old legends to work at a strip club and call it the Legends Room?
That's another good idea.
Yeah, it is. It
That's
really
a good
is.
idea.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
catchy.
win-win.
I already did it.
Yeah.
I had John Fitch over there. I had Felice Herring over there. I had quite a few old legends coming through the strip club, so it made it work. And it worked really good in the beginning. I sold a lot of memberships, and then when crypto started crashing, that's when my coin started crashing. So okay, time to sell. And then the poor guys that bought the strip club is about the same time the pandemic hit, so they never even got it open. They changed the name of it and everything. And they just never got open. So
damn,
pandemic killed them too. So I sold it just in time, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
a lot going on.
For
The
sure.
pandemic.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to crash everything. Bitcoin's up, I'm great. Bitcoin's down, you know, it's just up and down game. You know, you got to be on it. But now Bitcoin, I don't know what it is today. I know yesterday was like 2,800 and went all the way up to 5,800. You know, all my friends that had it, I said, sell. No, I want to buy some more. I go, well, why would you buy when crypto's high? Wait for it to crash and buy again.
Yeah. That's a smart strategy.
Sure.
But there's a lot of people I know, Bitcoin will be on the rise and they'll want to buy Bitcoin. I'm like, why are you buying Bitcoin now? You should have bought it already. So
yeah, when it crashes, that's the best time to buy, right? When it's totally dead.
Yeah, like, I don't know, let me tell you what it is now. Let's see. Oops.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, it's at $29,140. Now's the time you should probably buy. I mean, I would buy now.
Might have to get some Bitcoin, Kendrick. We might have to get some.
Wait and see if it crashes some more. Playing between 27 and 30 right now, the last few weeks.
Damn.
So if you're day trading, you could be doing pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has gone down.
But yeah, so it's fun. It's easy to invest. Like when I bought the restaurant, I bought it with Bitcoin. So it's easy to invest when you got numbers. Like when the cash was never in your hand. When the cash is in your hand is when you don't want to let it go.
True.
But when you got a string of numbers that you made overnight, you're like, I'll make it again. And then you just put it out there. Whereas if you worked hard for it, it's kind of harder to let go, I guess. But I've watched my Bitcoin numbers in the, like millions, and then I've seen it down to zero.
Oh shit. But it's different when it's not cash in your hand. That's true.
Yeah, it's like different because you made it and you could have sold it at one time and you didn't, and you're always could have, should have, would have, But I'm just a bad gambler. That's why I don't gamble in Vegas, because I'm the type of guy that's like my lawyer, my partner's brother. He's been out gambling with me a couple of times, and he's like, "Oh shit, I put 20 out, won another 20. I'm good." Puts it in his pocket and doesn't care. I was like, "No, come on, man, take it, win some more."
I'd be like your lawyer friend. I'd be like that. I'm good. I won my 100. I'm good for the weekend.
I just won another 20. Let's put 40 out.
Oh man.
So I keep putting it out there. And sometimes I get lucky. I mean, I've gotten lucky quite a few times in Vegas with the crazy attitude. Then of course
what's the most, coach, you won in a crazy attitude moment?
150,000.
Oh snap!
Started with maybe 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good money right there.
Heck
I
yeah,
was calling it the progressive play.
The progressive play.
aggressive play.
Like I would start with like I was playing with this rich dude and I was watching him play. So I started playing like him. He would put 1,000 out. He'd bet 1,000. He'd win. Then he would stack it. Then he would win, and then he'd pull it back and start over. He'd do that sometimes 2 or 3 times. I did that, and I just kept winning. And of course, I've done it other times when I just lost real quick.
Damn.
I've never lost as much as I've won.
Okay. What did you do with the 150K that you won in that big bet?
It was a good Christmas for my family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of course, I put a lot back too,
for sure.
doing other things, So
Mhm.
it's up and down. But I haven't really gambled like that in years. That was probably in 2003 when I won that money. I was working at a strip club, so
Okay.
I won it at the Hard Rock.
Damn. That's a good win though. That's a good win. Damn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but
What would you?
when you win 150,000 and you put 20,000 back, then you're like, oh wow, man.
Yeah.
1,000 back on the table, I would take a break and then come back like a week later and get cocky, and then next thing you know, you're down 20,000. So
that's not good.
Right.
That's not good.
Not at all.
Yeah. And then another time I won 50 grand. I thought I was playing dollars, but I was paying $25 hands. I was waiting for my friend who was gambling, big. I think he was gambling houses, like 100,000 or something. And I didn't want to watch him play more because it was just making me sick that he was gambling this kind of money away. And I sat at a poker machine, and I put $100 in, but I didn't know it was a $5 machine. Like $25 a hand. And so I just kept playing. I was winning a little bit, losing a little bit, and then I hit 4 aces with a deuce kicker, and then all the sirens went off, and people were coming over, and I was like, all this for a 4,000 point, but it was $50,000 that off $100.
Oh, I want to play that game. Shit.
Right. For real.
I was playing. I thought I was playing dollars.
Oh,
Pleasant surprise.
That's a good deal, though. Shoot, I want to play that game.
They're all like treating me like
100%.
they were working me, and I was like, "How much did I win?" They go 50,000. I go, "What?" So I was like, "Wow, I already thought I won like 4,000."
Damn, that's a good win. That's another good win.
Yeah, that was back, but I probably haven't really gambled. I've only gambled like a few times in the past 10 years, but I'm still up. If I go through the numbers, I'm still up.
That's a good thing. It's a lot of people don't have that same self-discipline or control that you have. You said that, you'd be the one to kind of give it all or play until you didn't have anything. But I mean, you've exhibited clearly a great degree of control, to counteract what could be.
Well, in a sort of a way, I guess, with Bitcoin, that's gambling. You buy all altcoins and stuff. You never know what they're going to do. But those coins all follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin drops, those coins are dropping.
I understand.
Coach, do you have some words of wisdom for us?
Okay.
Bet on black.
Bet on black.
Bet on black.
You got it right there. We've never had that one before. That's a good one. Bet on black. I'll take it. Let's go.
Oh man.
You're in Vegas, right? You got to do.
Yeah, for sure. True.
Bet on black.
I'll give you the trick to Vegas. You go by the roulette machine. If it's got 3 red in a row, bet on black.
Okay. All right. I'm saving this information.
Yeah,
I'm going to Vegas in October. I might come up. Who knows?
Buddy last week, buddy Adam, he was in town from New York. We walked by a table. He likes to gamble. and I saw the 3 red. I go, hey, put your money on black. He goes, right there? I go, yeah, put it on black. He goes, why? I said, because it's 3 red right there. Go black. If it hits red, then double up.
Oh, snap.
But he hit it and he was like, thanks, One Kick.
Man, you're gonna make me into a gambler a little bit after this episode. I might try some of these tactics. Oh man, it's an honor to hang out with you today. Thanks for making the time for us, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas in October. And thanks, shout out to JP for hooking this up. My man, my sparring partner, my friend, and his boxing club, Abaddon Fight Club in San Francisco. And it's a pleasure meeting and talking with you, One Kick.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great, man. Tell JP thanks for hooking us up,
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. What's up, everybody? If you like the content, you like the interviews, the videos, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we really appreciate it. Grasshopper and the Bear podcast on YouTube.